back today with my second confirmed Cuties video. Today we have a lot of Dark Academia blind boxes to open. Almost everything is Hirono and Skullpanda from Pop Mart, so I'm really excited to get opening. Let's go ahead and jump into these confirmed Cuties. And I think I'm gonna start with these ones over here because they're not wrapped up or anything. They just came loose in bubble wrap. I did buy everything from today's video from Toy Donut, and as you can see, this is going to be a Hirono figure, and look at this amazing Hirono figure. And this, of course, is from the Shelter series of Hirono by the designer Lang, and I adore this one. We have our really cute Hirono trapped inside of a bird cage, and I love this blanket wrapped around him. This one just invokes so many feelings. You just want to keep Hirono safe. And I really like the details of the bird cage. I like how it's kind of this dusty metal. It's not like super glossy or metallic. And there's so many details in the folds and the nooks and the crannies of this blanket. You can even see Hirono's hands gripping onto the blanket to keep it closed. And here's a look at the Hirono card. This one, of course, is called Birdcage, and I love the cards for this series. When it came to the Shelter series, this was my favorite Hirono, so I was so glad I was able to pick it up confirmed. And let's go ahead and grab our other bag, and I believe this is the Shelter series as well. And this is probably my second favorite from this series, so I'm excited to see it. I do love the bag for this series. It's really hard to actually see it, but it has like barbed wire all over the front of it. And let's open this one up. And look at this incredible one. This is the Hirono that's inside of a circus tent, and we have a bit of foam protecting the top. This is a bit of a weird Hirono, but I really love it. I love seeing Hirono's face just peeking out of our circus tent. And of course we have our little feet at the bottom, and this one again is like holding on to the tent to kind of wrap it around himself. I'm usually not a fan of red figures, but when it comes to like circus tent figures, they're always red, so it definitely makes sense, so I can appreciate it. You can definitely see why it's called Shelter, because we have all of these basic objects or house-like things that Hirono is sheltering himself inside. I think that's a really unique theme for a series, and Hirono series are always pretty dark. You'll have to let me know what you think about the Shelter series in the comments. And we have so many freckles and cuteness on our Hirono's little face that's peeking out, and this one is really cool. And here is our amazing card. I love this illustration again. It is just so awesome, and this one is called Circus, of course. I really love all the details the designer Lang puts behind their series. Like, this card is incredible. I really wish all Pop Mart series had just as detailed cards as Hirono has. And I think for our next one, let's open up one of the boxes. This series isn't really Dark Academia. This is Dimoo Retro series, and this is the Magnet series. But I do think the one that I got in particular is one of my faves. So let's have a look. 1, 2, 3. And I got the Devil one. I thought he really fit the vibe for today's series, so I just had to pick him out. The Devil was one of my favorites from our Dimoo Retro series, and I really like the quality of Pop Mart's enamel pins. They're also magnets as well. I normally use them as magnets myself. I don't really put them on clothing or bags. And if you've never seen their enamel pins before, they just have a little backing that is a magnet that you can easily remove just by sliding it on and off. And I love our blue little devil. He looks amazing. There's not a lot of alternative or Dark Academia Dimoo series, but I wish there was. I think he fits the vibe. And you don't get a card with this series, but you did get a cute little Dimoo Devil sticker to match the enamel pin you got. And I think the next thing I'm gonna grab is one of our mystery bundles. I love opening these mystery bundles on the channel. It's so fun. Sometimes I even forget who is inside. Sometimes the card is visible in the back, but most of the time it's not. So it's a surprise for me as well. But I did know that this one was a Hirono one, and this is all wrapped up. So let's open him up. We have our cute little Hirono, and I believe this is the base. And this is actually for the Little Petit Prince themed series. And I think his flag went flying when I opened him, so I'm gonna have to go grab his flag. I'm so bad at putting stands on. Look at me struggle. And I'm not a really big fan of Petit Prince, so I didn't get any blind boxes from this series, but I think there's something about our cute little railroad Hirono that doesn't even look like it has anything to do with Petit Prince. And we have so many details for him. I love how he has this little switch light on the top of his head that obviously tells the trains when they can go or if they should stop. And we have the little tools in his pocket, which is such a cute detail. I really like this base, even though I'm normally not a big fan of bases for figures. I don't know without it if you could really tell that this had to do with the railroad, so it definitely works. And there's just so much to look at for this here now, and I'm really excited that I got this. This is my first one from this series. One of the reasons why I got this Hirono figure is because I love taking photos at the train track, so I'm going to take this Hirono with me on one of my next walks. And here is our card. It is slightly bent, which is too bad, but this one is called the Switchman. And I love how it says, no one is ever satisfied where he is. I really like the style of this Hirono card as well. And I don't know if we should do all of our mystery bundles first or do one of our blind boxes. I'm kind of tempted to do this Savage Growth one. This is our only non-Pop Mart for today's video, I believe. I believe both of these are Skullpanda. So let's open this up and see. This is Miss Rara, and I already opened up a blind box from this series. I'll link to that video if you didn't see it, but I didn't get my favorite, and I ended up being able to get it confirmed, so I went ahead and bought it. But I did get my second favorite, so that's exciting. And 1, 2, 3, and of course I had to go for the Amazing Devil. All right, let's get her out of the plastic. She looks so incredible, and as you can see, this series is so big. All Dodo sugar figures are quite big, including Miss Rara. They're a lot bigger than Pop Mart figures. And I absolutely love how she is on top of a rose in clear vinyl for her base. She looks spectacular. And if you're not familiar with the character Miss Rara, she usually is in this pose where she's kind of like sitting on her butt with her legs up in the air. I really love how they think of unique ways to change up the figure, even though the pose is usually pretty similar. And her cute little maid head is adorable, and I love her ears. There's just so many details to look at for her. The faces are so good in Dodo Sugar's series. I love all the close-up paint job details. And she does have glass eyes, I believe, so they add that really nice touch to them. I really love this pairing of red and white together. It looks so good, and even her wings are clear vinyl. They look spectacular. I definitely like buying Miss Rara confirmed though. There's usually only like a few in the series that I'm really excited about, so it's one of the series I like to get not as blind. And she has a very appropriate name. We have Miss Demon, and the card for this is basic, but I do like how bold the colors are. And I'll show you the side so you can see all of the options. This is a really small series. There's only 6 possibilities. I'd really like to get Miss Magic. If I could get a third one from this series, I think it is gorgeous. And I think we should open up one of our mystery bundles next. Let's go for this one over here. And on the back of it, you can see it says Spotlight. And I think I know exactly which one this is from the Spotlight series. I think this one might be Hirono and not Skullpanda, but let's see. 1, 2, 3. Oh, and this one is actually the Hachi Pew Pew one. Oh, I totally didn't know this was Hachi Pew Pew. I don't think he is typically very dark academia. He is definitely supposed to be a little kid. I definitely am missing his cane that's supposed to attach to the back, so let me find that inside of the bubble wrap. All right, here is our Hachi Pew Pew figure with his really old style tuxedo getup and his cane. This whole Spotlight series was supposed to be like 1920s Pop Mart characters, and he definitely fits in with that theme. Although he does go with our Miss Demon from Raya, since they're both in black and red. And here is our card. This is the 13th anniversary Spotlight series by Pop Mart, and our Hachi Pew Pew is called Showtime. And I think next we're gonna go for a box. Let's open up our first Skullpanda of the video. This is Skullpanda The Warmth series. And I've never opened up, I think actually I opened up one blind box from this series, but this wasn't my favorite Skullpanda series, so I don't have very many from it. But I saw this one and just had to pick it up. I think it's really cute. So let's have a look at our Warmth one. 1, 2, 3. And this Skullpanda looks kind of weird because she's supposed to go in a bathtub. So on her own, she's just kind of this weird looking shiny baby. Let's go ahead and get out her accessories from inside of here. We're gonna have a cute little like wooden bath and her typical helmet. So she requires a bit of assembly. And this series was a bit of a weird one for me. I know a lot of people love this series, but I wasn't a super big fan of it. And the really small blank helmet doesn't really attach to anything. You're just supposed to put it on the ground so her hand is resting on it. I do like how it is kind of freaky and has no face on it. This would be a fun prop for other Skullpanda photos. I definitely think this series was an interesting vibe for Skullpanda. One of the reasons why I didn't like it is just because it is a very shiny vinyl. And here is our cute Skullpanda inside of her wooden tub. Maybe it's trying to be an onsen, but she is just relaxing. The Warmth series was kind of all about like self-care figures, and I definitely self-care by taking long baths. I do have a few chronic conditions, so I do experience a lot of pain, so I do like taking baths. So that's one of the reasons why I picked this one up, although this is probably one of the least popular in this series. And I know Skullpanda is supposed to be a baby, but I don't typically like when she looks like a baby just like wearing a diaper like this. But I don't know, there's something about this figure. It is just kind of calming to look at. It's a very simple for the color, so it kind of has that nostalgic, whimsical vibe to it. Let me know what you think about the Warmth Skullpanda series. Was it one of your faves or did you skip it? And here is our card for our Skullpanda The Warmth. This character is called Loosening. And I like the cards for this series. They definitely go with the series theme. All right, I think we should go for our last mystery bundle before we have a look at our last two series. And I'm pretty sure this one's supposed to be Skullpanda. But let's see. I might be wrong. I thought we had more Skullpanda for today's video. Oh, I can see the card. It is definitely Skullpanda. 1, 2, 3. And this is from the Image of Reality series. This was one of my favorites. Let's set it up. She is gorgeous. She doesn't fit very well in this stand though. The stand seems very flimsy, so maybe I'll just show her without it for now. I mean, the back of her though is so gorgeous. Everything about this figure is so serene. If you can't tell, I really like bird theme figures. I love how we have doves trapped in the back in a cage. And her body position is just so beautiful. She definitely needs a stand, but I kind of wish the stand just attached a little better for this. And I love the color of her dress and her hair. I think it's supposed to be like all leaves, is it's kind of a burnt orangey color. And she is just so spectacular. I love seeing this in person. I will say the quality of the Image of Reality series isn't as good as previous Skullpanda series. They do feel a lot cheaper and lighter to older Skullpanda series, which is too bad. But the details on this figure are still incredible. She is just so gorgeous. I think she might be my favorite figure we've opened up today because I just adore Skullpanda. And she is probably the best one for today's theme of dark academia. And what a fitting name for our character. She is called the Soar. And the cards for the Image of the Reality series aren't very interesting. They would have been better as an illustration instead of a photo of the figure. And we only have 2 boxes left to open. I'm really tempted to go straight for our Skullpanda one. And this series I've never opened before. This is my first time opening this series, I believe. So let's go ahead and open this up. And I can't remember if I ended up getting my favorite from this series or just one of the ones that I liked. But I'm really excited to see it. Oh, and you can see she's already coming out the top. And we have the gorgeous, beautiful Winter Wind. She is just so spectacular. If you've seen the Mare of Animals series, there's a unicorn one, and it's very similar to this figure. They would make a really cute duo together. I just had to buy her. I'm such a sucker for purple and blue together. And she has like a really beautiful like duochrome opalescent paint job on her. Like even her body has like a pearlescent sheen to it. It's so gorgeous. And I believe she's supposed to be like the winter blossoms. Just look at how ethereal she is. And I love the details on the back of her head. She has this beautiful pattern. It's very subtle, but incredibly gorgeous. And she just looks like a goddess. This wasn't one of my favorite Skullpanda series, but I definitely need to get more from it because it was really beautiful. She's just so incredible. I can't get over how much I love this one. And her makeup is so pretty. There's just so many pretty details to look at this one. I love the use of metallic paint. Pop Mart doesn't use metallic paint enough. And here's a look at our card for the snow, and it's a similar style to the Image of Reality as well. Although I do think I like the style of this card a little bit better. You can see it has like these kind of reflective ink drops on it. And here's a look at the rest of the Ink Plum Blossom series. I think if I was to get more, I would try to get the moon one. Maybe this other kind of bluey one as well. It looks really gorgeous. The secret for this series is incredible, but super hard to get. I think one of the reasons why I didn't get most of this series is because it was very earth-toned and I'm much more of a pastel person. And we only have one more box to open today. We have Hirono Mime series. And I don't have very many from this series either. I'm really excited to see the Hirono inside of here. And it looks like the bag hasn't been opened. And this bag is really cool. It looks like a movie clacker. I really love the packaging. As I always say, the designer Lang puts so much details into this series. And I love how it opens up across it. That is so neat. Let's see our cute little Hirono. 1, 2, 3. And he comes in a bit of plastic. Oh, and he has some plastic around his amazing little balloon heart. Let's get that off. And here is our adorable Hirono, and this is my favorite for the Mime series. He is floating on top of this balloon. I really love all of the expressions and emotions that Lang uses in the Hirono figures. It's really unique compared to a lot of other blind box series. And this one kind of reminds me of the Pixar movie Up. It has that sadness about it. And I really love the detail about this balloon. This string just looks incredible how it's wafting down. And there's not a lot to say about this figure. We just have Hirono on top of this balloon looking really dejected. The shading on this figure is really pretty though. Oh, how could I forget? He has like a little broken arrow weather vane to go on the top of his head. It goes so well with the figure. This definitely adds a lot to the figure. I can't believe I didn't notice this was missing right away. And here's our card for the Drifter from our Mime series. And this was a series I didn't have a lot of Hirono figures from. I love the card, very similar style to the last few Hirono series. I do love how it looks like a film roll. I do think that is such a cute touch. And here's a look at the rest of the Mime series, so you can see all the other possibilities. There is quite a few from this series that I really want, like the Heart Bomb. I really like the bird one as well. We also have like a little cardboard dinosaur monster. The one in the pillow is pretty cute as well. Let me know if you have anything from this series. And here's a look at everything that I opened up in today's confirmed Cuties video. What do you think? I definitely think a lot of these were maybe a bit more alternative over dark academia, but I do love how they're a bit more gritty. I really love the vibe for Hirono and Skullpanda especially. I definitely need to do another video because I do have more Skullpandas and Hironos on their way to me. And you can let me know in the comments if there's a particular character like Skullpanda or Hirono you want to see more on the channel. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in a few days for my next unboxing video. I hope you have a great night.
Am I just wasting time? Seem to